So it's Saturday, and I just finished the last hour of working on my cottage twirl. So I've done an hour, some a little bit more, but I've done an hour minimum on all of the projects that I had assigned myself for this week. So I wanted to share with you where that got me on those projects. And what I'll be doing the rest of this weekend then is working on picking one of these projects to work on some more. It's going to be cottage twirl because I'm getting close to the end and I'm excited about having that closer to being done. So I'll probably put a little bit more time into that this weekend. But this is what I did on my slow stitch journal. So I've gotten the rabbits all embroidered, and I might do a little bit more flower and grass kind of stuff on here yet, but that will be next week. So next week I'm thinking of doing a little bit more detail with grass and flowers on this. So that's my slow stitch journal that I'm doing with Jean in Kept in Stitches. So beauty all around is what I'm working on too, and I got 10 more of these blocks completed. So that was my hour of working on this. So I already had 12 done. So now I have 22 done. 144 is what I need. So there's progress made on that. The Zippy bags, Lori Holt's Zippy bags 3. I'm working on the large bags, and I was practicing with using some batting that I'm trying to get rid of that's very thin. So I used a thicker one on the back, which I like, and I only used a thin layer, one layer on the front. And I think what I'm going to have to do is use 2 layers on the front. And then this top had a different one, so this is scrappy batting Zippy bag. But I got the first one done. Wanted to do that first before tackling the others because I forgot how to do it, so I had to rewatch the video. So right there was more than an hour working on this. And then the zips are her happy zips. This is what I used for the inner lining. So that's one. I still have 3 more bags to make for the Zippy bags. I also got the January UFO finished, which I shared with you previously. This was called Rainbow Burst Table Runner, and this was from Creative Notions. It was a kit that had the binding and everything I needed for the top. So that's a completion. So next week I will start working on the first quarter UFO. I'll do an hour on that. So I'll be probably sorting the materials for that one. I also started working on Jane Austen. This was more than an hour because I was watching the video too. But I've gotten the pieces marked for the interfacing and then matched up fabrics and made the bias binding for that. Also, for the Callie & Co block of the month, I've got the stashings sewn together to go between the blocks for that. So I'm going to be looking at my layout this coming week and deciding on, I think I'm going to be doing quilt as you go. So I'm going to be deciding on how I want to do that. And then finally, it's cottage twirl. So I got the first border quilted, and I'm working on the second border. So this is how this is looking so far. This is cottage twirl. And this was stitched with Stitch Obsessed with Miriam. It was a sew along that I was doing last year with her. So I will continue working on the last border of that, and then if it so happens, put the binding on, and then I'll be hand sewing the binding. I'll sew the front on, and then I'll hand sew the rest of it on. So that is an update on all the projects that I've been working on this week. And I think I got everything, because the Carolina Moore block of the month, I did January, and that's right there. There's January's block of the month, the orange and green one. So this is working out very well. Sometimes it's very hard to stop working on a project because I'm having so much fun working on it. But I'm enjoying the variety of projects that I'm being able to work on. So far, this is my second week of doing an hour. Oh, I forgot the table. I already showed this too. This is the placemat loom. But so far, this has been very rewarding for me, making a little progress on a bunch of different things, and such a variety. So if I feel like doing some hand sewing, there's a project for that. If I feel like working on the machine, there's a project for that. If I want to cut out something, soon there'll be a project for that. So I'm having a very good time and working on bags, working on the loom. It's just, I'm enjoying doing it this way. So I'm going to continue doing an hour a piece on right now it's, well, yeah, 8 different projects. So I will continue with that. I'm also going to on Friday next week, Laundry Basket is going to be having their first block out for their mystery. She's having a year-long mystery from January 16th to December 16th. And a block of the month, it's a block of the month per se. There might be a lot more involved in each month's assignments. She said it's not going to be simple. I think what I might do is just download those instructions and set them aside and to do maybe next year or later in the year. That's my plan, since right now I feel like I have enough on my plate. So that's what I'm going to do for that. Next Saturday on the 17th, Coriander Quilts is going to be having their instructions for what to do with those cutoffs that we did for our block of the month that we did in 2025. Plus, she might be announcing what she's going to be doing for this year. So if she does another sew along or block of the month or something, I like the simplicity of her block of the month. It wasn't real complicated. It was enough to be able to get done in a couple hours. So I might do that. We'll see what she says. We'll see what she comes up with. But I will be doing whatever small project she has for our cutoffs. So I'll be getting those instructions next Saturday. All right, so that is what I have in the works. I will update you if I get anything done. And other than that, I will give you an update after I get my hour done with all my different projects next week. All right, have a great weekend. And so, all right, bye.